What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Mike from Trouble Down Productions, and today this is going to be my recap and review of The Walking Dead Season 7 Episode 2. Now, I really like how in this episode it was definitely a much lighter episode than what we come off of from the premiere. I love the way that they showed the kingdom and Ezekiel. I feel really I feel a lot better about Ezekiel in the show that I did in the comic. In the comic, he was more eccentric. I don't really know the word, but it was just like, you know, like he was some kind of master, and it didn't really seem like he was playing people, you know, really. It seemed like that's the way he was. But in the show, we got that point where he was talking to Carol, and, you know, he just kind of told her that he used to be in theatrical arts or whatnot. He had an uncle that was really, you know, you got to learn a new word every day, and, you know, just kind of all this. And he basically told him he did that for the people to keep hope. You know, people want to follow someone. People need a leader, especially in this type of situation. So I really liked how, you know, he came true to Carol, you know what I'm saying, and showed like his true colors to her. Shiva looked amazing. I love the blend they did with the CGI and the real tiger, you know what I mean, and I think it went together really well. I'm not going to give any spoilers for the comics, but I will say that Shiva has got some stuff that's going to be going on probably within this season. I'm not sure if they're going to play it just like the comics, because there's a lot of the stuff in the show they don't do it that way, but I'm thinking that they will play her character like the comics. So if you've read the comics, you know what I'm talking about, and you know what's probably going to happen before the end of this season's over. Now, I personally am not a big Carol fan, but I absolutely loved Carol in this episode. I mean, the humor, the look on her face when she's seen the tiger. I mean, I don't know what the hell is going on in the most wonderful way. I mean, that line itself was just awesome. I laughed my ass off. The whole episode, it really felt like the episode where we met Jesus. Like how it had that humor surrounding the episode. I felt like this was the same way. And I think we really needed that coming off of the premiere and what happened there. Now, Ezekiel, what we found out in the episode, Ezekiel is not only hiding the fact that they're giving food to the saviors from the kingdom people, but they are also poisoning the meat that they're giving them. Now, when we got the episode, I think next week they're going to be giving them like vegetables or something. So it's almost like they're doing just the meat when they give them the meat, so they're poisoning them slowly. Now, I don't think we've ever actually gotten confirmation that eating tainted meat could kill you, but we go back to the termites, you know, when they were eating Bob, and he's like, oh, you know, tainted meat, and they all start throwing it up or whatnot. So I think we can kind of guess that over a period of time, if you eat enough of it, it will slowly kill you. But Negan, which is very smart on Ezekiel's part, but I think Negan is smart enough to where eventually he's going to catch on to that, and they're probably going to lose some kingdom people. Morgan's finally training somebody, which is really cool, because it almost seemed like the progression by the end of the episode, the kid was actually getting down pretty good how to use that bow staff, which is cool. He might become, you know, a bigger part of the kingdom if you don't get killed off. Something in my mind is thinking, no, the kid's probably not going to last all season. I could be wrong, though. From what he says, Ezekiel knew his father. Apparently they were really close, whatnot. So when the kid's father died because of a decision that Ezekiel made, it almost seems like Ezekiel has taken this kid in, you know, and want to make sure he protects that kid. So, which is really cool, because they, you know, you see that little bond there, which almost makes me feel like it's almost a build up to that kid dying, you know, and it affecting Ezekiel later on in the season. Now, I did hear some people talk on Facebook about the timeline of this episode. Now, when Morgan went to find Carol, I'm thinking that from the time he found Carol and that guy from the kingdom, that was just like one day with them getting back to the kingdom. So at that point, Rick and them are still going out to do this run where they get caught in the woods. So later on in the episode, after Carol wakes up, you hear Morgan say she's been asleep for 2 days. So at that point, everything from the Negan stuff in the woods and Rick's group has already happened. So most of the episode that we got after Carol woke up should be Rick and them already back to Alexandria. At that point, we're caught up with the actual timeline of everybody else. So next week, we're going to see Rick back at Alexandria and the rest of the group recovering. I honestly believe that we are going to get a much better show Ezekiel than the comic Ezekiel was. And I say that because he's a bit younger than the character in the comics. You know, he can do more physically as far as fighting and stuff like that. I think we're going to see a lot more of that of him in the show. Not to mention, Khary Payton is a awesome actor, awesome voice actor. I mean, he's just an all-around cool dude. We had a chance to meet him at Walker Stalker over last weekend, which I'll be putting a video out for later on today or tomorrow, given my experience doing all that again for the second year. But the guy is really cool. I think he's really going to do a good Ezekiel. Overall, I'm going to give this episode a 9. I know a lot of people didn't like it. I did. Just the humor surrounding it. We don't get many of those episodes in The Walking Dead because it's always so dark and everything. So I think, a light episode every once in a while isn't really a bad thing. That's about all I got for you guys. Like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll be putting this video on YouTube with all of my links in the description below. I will be making my Walker Stalker video later on. So be sure to check all that stuff out. Love you guys. Let me know what you thought about the episode in the comment section below, because I always love to hear you guys' thoughts. But I love you guys. Dead to Zombies, Trouble Down Productions. You guys rock.